Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. Here are your hosts, Scott Bear and Jeremiah Johnson.
Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Jeremiah.
And we are back. We took a little break, and we hope you all remember to keep tuning in and you didn't unsubscribe. Honestly, when I take breaks from shows, I don't unsubscribe.
No, but honestly, sometimes I don't even remember how often the show is on because I generally don't listen like on a weekly basis with the exception of a few. And I'll be like, oh, it must just be I got my schedule wrong, and I guess maybe people listen to
I used
podcasts
to be
differently.
Regular,
but I will,
fiber, but
since the pandemic, like, this isn't up by Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Since the pandemic, I don't have a regular scheduled podcast anymore.
Yep. So just, you know what? This is what we do is we get to it as well as we can. We did try to record one, actually two separate times last week. Or within the last couple of weeks, and they've just been between work and life. Things get in the way, and things are a little bit fucking weird now as far as trying to schedule stuff. So we're here with some content that might seem a little dated, I should say. Yep. And before I actually mention the specifics of the content, or we get into the content, I would like to actually just note, like what kind of content people might be expecting, I would say.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to know what the show is. And
people may have forgotten even, actually, over the last couple of weeks. We have a lot of stoner listeners and people who just spend most of their days on fucking blow during the pandemic, and they just go on these fucking rampages, and then they wake up and have no idea what they did. And, yeah.
Well, in the immortal words of the late Herman Cain, Kamala Harris wasn't born in America. Oh, wait. Yeah. We do this show differently. I'm sorry. We're talking about another dead person.
Yes, that's right.
In the immortal words of Stan Lee,
right. Kamala Harris was not born in
No, I was actually shocked the other day when I was looking at Twitter and I saw that Herman Cain tweeted.
And actually, the way I actually follow so many tweets, because I don't follow a lot of tweets, is I follow Tim Heidecker, who's a hero of mine. I would say I don't want to speak for both of us, but I know you appreciate Tim Heidecker as well.
Yes,
he is what I consider a comedy hero, and an amazing guy. But
he's my hall pass
because
only because I'd like to tell people that, like, you're not even gay, but like, no. I need a story. This is a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Starter.
Yeah, Herman Cain is
so
mine.
You got fucked in the ass by Tim Heidecker? Who says I'm a bottom? First of all,
exactly.
Don't
maybe
assume
I fucked him in the ass. Yeah. But
maybe we switch hit.
One of the reasons, so he actually posted, he's like, he's back from the grave or something like that. I'm like, oh, sweet. And clearly it's whatever team was posting on behalf of her, which is fucking dirty and gross. Let's not get into that.
Well, they do it with Stan Lee and a lot of other dead celebrities. Usually Disney.
Yes, no, but you're like, hey guys,
no.
Hey, enough said.
I still feel like it's dirty even when
dirty
it's Stan
because
Lee.
It's political. Well, yeah, but
because Disney doesn't have enough people on their website,
and it's because it's commercial for commercial purposes and whatnot. But like for political purposes and to disparage another human being in the name of a dead human being who may or may not have actually wanted to say that, Oscar, you might fuck up our. Okay, if our podcast stops, it's because I have a kitten who is 5 months old now.
Speaking of the mic,
and. And he jumps all over things, and we haven't had to lock him up last couple times we've recorded, but he is full of piss and vinegar right now.
Yeah,
we gave him a lot of whiskey.
In the immortal words of Stan Lee.
Yes. Oh no. Well, actually, let me finish the Tim Heidecker thing. So everybody should go out there and listen to Tim Heidecker's back catalog on Bandcamp, and I actually think this one may be on Spotify, because he actually wrote an entire series of campaign songs. Just themed. It was pretty much a rock opera or a pop opera about Herman Cain. And one of the big one, it was literally an entire album, not one song, including with the big one was Get on the Cain Train. Everybody get on the Cain Train. Anyway, so Tim Heidecker's awesome. That's how I found out about Herman Cain rising from the dead and disparaging human beings he may or may not have had negative thoughts about. But Stan Lee does the same exact thing. He uses the N-word a lot from the grave.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say that in his immortal words, every comic book could be some kid's first comic book, much like this podcast could be your first podcast, or at least your first time listening to ours.
Yes.
So what we do with this show...
Can I just real quick...
we're never
getting into the show. Speaking of comic books, just want to give a shout out to Jesse Lonergan, who does sometimes listen to our show. A good friend of ours from high school, who recently had one of his self-published comics, I should say. He's published a couple graphic novels in the past. Awesome stuff. His comic Hedra, one-shot comic, got picked up by Image Comics, sold out immediately, which is awesome. And I know he's also going to be releasing his next one, sort of the follow-up, I'd say spiritual follow-up to that, on Image as well. So it's awesome to see one of our buddies succeeding so well in the comic book world, especially since it's something we've all dreamed of. You and I failed at it, and it's great. And also maddening, Jesse Lonergan's no longer my friend because now I'm jealous of him. Because he worked hard at it, I didn't, and for some reason I expected fame and fortune when I didn't actually do any work for it. So that's speaking of comic books, just a little shout out to a buddy at the top of the show. Now if you're done playing with my cat, that's the only reason we couldn't continue with the show. You're doing a weird... You do like a hey kind of OP. Yeah. You got it. Was pretty good actually. He was following you. He is now going to slash you to bits. If need be, I can lock him up in a bedroom. But
he's literally other people's pussy.
Yes, yeah, he really is. He is. He is. Oh my god, are you down with OPP? You know, I'm fucking playing with OPP right now.
Yeah,
that's great.
literally.
So Scott, just for fuck's sake, tell us what the show's about.
We take weird news stories and we make jokes and then content that's like stories or books or comics, and then we laugh. I just shortened it because moving on. Yeah, and sometimes we sometimes bring back some old segments, but the core of our show is web droppings. But this month, actually probably the first time in about a month, this week we are going to bring back an old segment called Blinding Me with Science. But Scott, I just was really curious, and this is just a random aside, and I don't know why I'm asking this. What do you get when you Google abandoned sex dolls? Or is it Dex dolls? I misspelled it.
We can think of we were just talking about Pokemon. I'm like, maybe you meant abandoned Dex dolls.
Well, you get a whole bunch of cool stories like dead body reported near park. Police investigate. Find sex doll.
Okay.
Full-size abandoned sex doll found on roadside. Body in bag turns out to be discarded sex doll. Woman rescues box of abandoned puppies only to discover sex doll. Police abandoned murder investigation after discovering the victim was a sex doll. Okay. Dude, the Google search for typing in abandoned sex doll is the best thing on earth.
This is what I almost
deep.
like.
We can do a whole show on it.
This is actually, maybe that's an empty promise for a show when we need just some, I don't want to say filler material, but we want to do some additional.
No, we just literally Google and read.
Yeah, and just be like, this is what these are some of the abandoned sex doll roundup kind of thing. But this is actually sort of an update because remember, it was maybe it was even the last show. We talked about how when people have to get rid of their sex dolls, they would have to Google how to get rid of a dead body because nobody wants to just toss their sex doll in a dumpster and then be like, oh, it's Joey B's fucking sex doll from next door. Let's laugh at him, even though they all have sex dolls or wish they could afford them. This is just proof of that. People are discarding of them like they're dead bodies.
Now, the first thing that comes up is a site with a disturbing URL, littlesexdolls.com. Jared, can you bring that up on your computer? Is that your work computer or not?
This is not my work computer.
Then can you type that in? Because first of all, look at the image at the top.
Should I use a VPN for this?
No, you should be fine. I think
because little sex dolls might make it sound like suddenly it's just some teenagers. It's like the Epstein sex doll fucking.
Well, I'm on a very specific page for it. It's how to deal with an abandoned sex doll. Number 1.
Oh, so you've already been to little sex dolls.
Number 1, throw in the trash. This is the most intuitive way we can think of.
Tiny little sex dolls.
Oh, do you see this image of the stripped down one that's got the robot exoskeleton?
Yeah, I also see some that definitely look like you're it's there.
I just want to show you the Terminator version.
It's there to be like, oh, you're fucking a child. There's definitely a 100-centimeter flat-chested sex doll Mariko. Looks like you're fucking a toddler.
Gotcha.
So. Also there for perverts. Most of them have very good curves, though. They're like 7 inches long.
I want to read a few of these instructions. Number 1, throw in the trash. This is the most intuitive way we can think of. Just like ordinary garbage, the only problem is the height of sex dolls is usually close to that of adults. Usually.
Yep.
The general trash can may not be fully accommodated, and you have to consider the embarrassing scene that you were holding a sex doll towards trash. That's weirdly written. If you're in the suburbs, that is. And then there are garbage trucks that have to pick them up too, which is also another thing. It says,
and I can't imagine those things squish. Generally trash is you compact it.
Yeah,
these things could be like they compact it and it just goes.
It's like the top and bottom. It's like the end of Terminator 2 as it goes to the compactor, a thumb is up out of it and sinks.
Yeah, and I would just assume then they would become another full version. They would squeeze themselves as a pregnant sex doll, 158 centimeter pregnant love doll jelly. is $998.
Oh, tell me it has a Bluetooth baby in it that you can press a button and it kicks.
Oh my god! It's just like based on thrust, it kicks faster as you fuck it harder. Oh man!
Also, this is from the website, if you want, you can dismember the sex doll before discarding it. This is a horrible way because this process is just like the perverted, murderous behavior in the movie. This is written so weird.
Wait, in the movie?
The movie.
They're like, you know what movie we're talking about, wink, wink. I'm like, no. It's like, what, there's some fucking snuff film that they're referring to?
It also says when you cut it up, there will be a metal skeleton. Don't be afraid. They're not Terminators. They're just a little scary. And then you can pack these garbage bags. They look like more ordinary household garbage. Number 2 is for sale on a secondhand platform. If the doll is still not too flawed,
yeah.
Gently used.
If you haven't flawed it enough.
Yes. It is better to sell on platforms such as eBay. The price of sex dolls is not cheap. So remember to clean the sex doll.
By being too flawed, meaning literally been used once. You can't.
Once it's used, it's flawed. Once used, it's flawed.
Oh my god, you can't have a secondhand sex doll.
In addition to eBay, sex doll forums such as Doll Forum. Wow, they really worked hard on that one.
Yeah.
Also provide secondhand.
A little better than like literally they wanted secondhand sex doll forum.
Do you know how many elderly women who are vintage doll collectors have happened upon that site?
Exactly. Like they at least make it secondhand sex doll forum.com
or fuck doll forum. Fuck doll forum right there. There's no old ladies who be like, fuck doll.
My granddaughter really wants an American girl doll.
An American fuck doll.
American girl doll. This one says it's American, and her name is Jelly, and she is pregnant.
And she's slightly flawed.
Yes. Oh, and it looks like for an extra $400, you can make her give birth and Serbian film the fucking newborn baby that pops out. Not going to say what that is. Anybody who knows Serbian film, you know what I mean.
The only other option is number 3. Send it back to the manufacturer. If your doll is purchased locally and the manufacturer provides
nobody
recycling
has ever purchased
services,
a sex doll locally, ever.
Locally sourced sex dolls.
If you live literally next door to a sex doll factory, you will go 6 towns over and buy a sex doll. That way you'll be like, you never see me in that place. That couldn't have been my sex doll.
It's like farm to table, a doll to table.
Oh, yeah.
I just go down to the farmer's market and go to the sex doll kiosk.
Is she free range? It's just all these dolls laying out in a field, just like with fucking moss growing on them and shit.
Yeah, we leave our dolls in open fields. No pens, no cages, no fences.
Right.
We've had very few run away.
Yeah, she's got some centipedes, but other than that, she's just fine and dandy.
That could be a plot of a movie like Mannequin 3.
Yeah.
But instead of mannequins, it's about a sex doll that comes to life and literally leaves the free-range sex field.
Yep, exactly. She's been fucked by a goat a couple of times.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shit. The collie we got's not doing its job keeping the sex dolls wrangled.
Like, I don't know what to do with these.
Beat it to death because one got away.
Yeah, fucking border collie just been beat to death. 20-minute scene
with a dismembered sex doll.
Yeah, Mannequin 3. This gets dark, bitches.
Real fast.
Just a border collie. 20-minute scene of a border collie.
First scene is a farmer with suspenders, a giant beard, and straw between his teeth, going,
"Where's Jelly?
1, 2, 3, 98. We're missing 99.
Yeah.
Get over here, Barky."
Yeah. Come on.
Did you keep all the dolls in the field?
Well, Jelly's missing.
Actually, the doll talks just like in Look Who's Talking 3. Fuck it. Dog just fucking talks.
It's John Travolta.
Everything. Fuck it. There's
it's
no
John
rules
Travolta.
in this movie.
It's Air Bud. Yeah. It plays basketball.
I'm trying to count them. Yeah, you didn't count him good enough and just beats it to death with a fucking dismembered.
And it's Jelly. It's Jelly, so she's pregnant. So she's trying to save her unborn child.
He beats it to death with a loose vagina, the ones you can pull out and wash in the sink and then stick back in. Just beats it.
So he just scoops his arm up one of the sex dolls that hasn't run away, pulls out one of the detachable vaginas, beats the dog to death with it, and then just spits on it, shines it, and puts it back up. And there's like a dog tooth and fur stuck to it. We'll just call that extra.
You just reminded me. Can you
call
answer
it undercarriage?
Jared, can you answer me something? Because Kelly and I, my wife Kelly, we couldn't figure this out. Maybe you can help.
If it's a sex doll question, I got it.
Close. She was on her computer and she spins it to me and she goes, "Explain what the fuck I'm looking at."
Okay.
And I looked at it and it was a dildo with a fleshlight behind the balls.
I cannot explain.
She's like, "What do you do with that?" I'm like, "Well, you could put it on your dick like a fleshlight."
Oh.
And then because it's bigger,
wait, it's like double ended?
It's a dildo and it's hollow with a vagina behind the balls, so you could stick your dick into the dick, so the whole dick's a fleshlight.
Okay.
But if you spin it around, you won't even see the vagina. It's on the backside. You would just see the balls and the shaft.
You're fucking a urethra.
So is it for transgender people?
I don't think
or hermaphroditic people.
But I don't know if because it sounds like what you're saying is somebody wants to fuck a dick on the inside.
Yeah, but then it's still a dildo, so you could still use the dildo. I mean, is it?
I see. So it's like maybe just for like a body.
Did I not explain that well enough?
Yo, first of all, I like the thought of a new segment called "Explain to Me What I'm Looking At," where you just describe third person.
Oh, I don't want that in my search history.
What somebody you knew looked at. So it is
she showed me the screen.
Game of telephone. By the time it gets to me.
Like I said, just picture a normal dildo.
I'm picturing everything.
And then the back where it should be flat is a vagina fleshlight.
Okay, no, so what I'm thinking is based on the last thing you said, I would say that would be for somebody who does want like the 2-in-1 situation where you can fuck something. So it's definitely somebody with a dick, but also have something fuck you. Because, you don't have to get a new...
It can't be for like the male gay community because when they make it like an anus maybe? Because why would they want to fuck a vagina?
No, but in other words, okay... Are you saying then you flip the whole thing around and then you have like a fuckable pussy?
Yes, if it's coming at you like
one way is
like
just a dildo, so you don't.
It's a dildo.
But so
and then if you flip it around, it's a fleshlight.
Then
I'm pantomiming.
That makes more sense. That's what I thought the first time. That's just a 2-in-1 sex toy where it just makes it more efficient.
So you share it with your partner?
Like you could. No, you literally could. Like
that could be a skit in and of itself. Like some guy being
safe sex.
Like it looks like he's jerking off in bed next to his wife, and he goes, pulls it off. And it's a fleshlight he just came into, and then he hands it to her. She spins it around, and then she uses it.
Well, what about this situation? First of all, yes, it could be that they're very safe.
Or a guy could put it on his dick and then have a bigger dick.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm thinking is actually a woman. Let's say she prefers like, what would they call it, a size queen, or maybe she does have a loose vagina. Those things do exist. And the guy's got a tiny penis. Those things exist as well. Maybe he gets a nice tight fleshlight on the end. He can fuck it and feel real good. While he's doing the controlling of it.
If it did that, you would think it would have a straps. So basically the guy would wear a strap on.
Yes.
He'd wear a stunt cock.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just fucking... I actually think it's more for because
it has no straps.
I feel there are two things. I feel like definitely you could use it together, mutual masturbation style, without actually having sex. And I'm guessing maybe for like the Christian communities where they don't want to defoul their orifices and whatnot in the name of God, but still.
Oh, that's like the hole in the sheet loophole kind of bullshit.
Yes, exactly. Or
like you put this on your dick. Oh my god, you didn't lose your virginity.
No, absolutely not. But you still get to do all that
because the dick never went in.
It's just masturbation, and that's just a venial sin. You got that. So there's that, and then there's also just a matter of one person. Let's say you're a dude, because it would be a dude, because there's something you'd stick your dick in. You're a dude that likes stuff up their butt, and they also like a fleshlight. This is an all-in-one, all-inclusive sex toy that just makes it so much more efficient and probably cheaper to just have one toy rather than being like, oh, I got to clean both these toys and I got to like figure out which one I want to plug in. I got both these things. I don't have enough fucking places to plug these in or enough batteries. Now you have one fucking toy. So I would say those are the two main things I would assume.
Okay.
And I think they're both pretty valid, honestly. So anyway, that is literally the introduction of our show.
Yeah, we got through the first story.
Do we want to just...
we haven't hit web droppings yet,
though. Yeah, and I would say, do we want to do the hot dog limit? If we want to do the hot dog limit, we should do that right now.
We're going to play a game at the end of the show, and I got a weird feeling I can work that in.
Okay, let's actually make that the tease for everybody.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a game at the end of the show to close it out. We haven't done one in a long time, so we thought it was overdue. So yeah, let's... I think I can actually, if we pause it, like before we do the game, take a few minutes to reconstruct the notes. Yeah, I think I got this.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let's instead of blinded me with science, we will skip that and go straight into web dropping. Web dropping 2.0.
All right, for our first story with web droppings, we have a story about a teenage boy who dies from the bubonic plague after eating a marmot. Laughs a minute here in the last at home last at home podcast. I'm thinking last podcast on the left. Yeah.
I know I've definitely done that before. Like I've talked about our podcast to people before and literally been like, or the other way around, be like, lost podcast on the left, and be like, no, that's not the right one.
Yep. It'd be great if we were friends with him and ever did a combined thing, because we could do combined names.
It's true. Maybe one of these days,
Lost
I feel like me and
podcast home on the
Zabrowski,
left.
I feel like me and Henry Zabrowski would get along really well. But that's what stalkers say, and then they're just like, they follow them to their house, and I'm just like, love me. Actually, I watched a horror movie with Henry Zabrowski in it recently. It was produced by the people who made the movie like Endless and Spring, and also starred Jeremy Gardner, who made the movie The Battery. And it's called After Midnight. It's more of a romance than it is a horror movie, but it has Henry Zabrowski has a pretty major role in it.
Huh, neat.
Anyway, yes, a 15-year-old boy, and this is one of those older stories I was talking about. This is about a month old now, because I think it was probably about 3 weeks ago we were originally gathering this.
It made very little traction in the news circuit, which makes it perfect for us.
In fact, I actually think last podcast, Side Stories, was the only thing I ever heard this mentioned on at all.
Very nice.
Although I'm guessing we probably have some crossover listeners. But a 15-year-old boy has died from the bubonic plague in Western Mongolia. And the teenager caught the plague after hunting and eating marmot, according to the Dorj Nangarai spokesperson for Mongolia's Ministry of Health. Pretend I did not try to pronounce that.
Now, marmots
Dorj Narangarel.
Marmots, for anyone who's wondering, are basically large ground squirrels.
They are. They're related, yeah.
Almost think...
they look more like a woodchuck, actually.
I was going to say, if you're American woodchuck, groundhog, like that. A prairie dog, even.
Yes, actually. But
actually, very
more like a prairie dog. Very more like
a sexy prairie dog.
I mean, a woodchuck is just a prairie dog that like lives in the woods a little bit more. It has a... Yeah, Oscar's just...
Yeah, your cat is watching our audio being recorded and
fucking loving it.
Yeah, it's his TV show.
No, there's a reason I
love this fucking show.
The reason I don't have my keyboard over there, because he would have pressed the space bar and fucked up our recording 20 times by now. And actually, the fact that the mouse is over there has me a little concerned, because he's a cat.
I like during our work chat on Slack the other day, you started doing math, and I was like, does Jer not understand the difference between a calculator and Slack? Because it was like 0 plus 9.
Oh.
And I was going down.
Oh, I saw that I posted that. It wasn't me. It was, that was Oscar.
I figured that.
Yeah, nope. That's actually pretty funny, yeah, because I actually noticed it, but it was like an hour later when I noticed it was there, and I was like, I'm not going to delete it now. You've already seen it. So, but yeah. So they're like essentially American prairie dogs, if people are aware of them. And, and we've referred to, I think it was actually squirrels who spread leprosy that actually got me making the song Squirrels that I recorded about squirrels passing leprosy around.
Yep.
And now it turns out the squirrels are fucking bubonic plague spreaders as well. They're dirty fucking rodents. So marmots have actually been historically linked to plague outbreaks in that region. In fact, this is not the first death or the first case of this at all.
It actually happens quite regularly.
Yes. So anyway, they ended up having to quarantine people. The quarantine has already been over. It's got to be a crazy thing, and this was July 15th when this story broke. And like in the middle of a pandemic to be like, oh, also 2020 wasn't fucked enough. That whole coronavirus thing and COVID-19. Well, now we got the bubonic plague is back. So just honestly, if everybody's just following social distancing guidelines, you're actually already fine. So maybe this is a reason to do it. Maybe if we start telling people they'll die of the fucking plague, people will stop like going out on a limb to be like, yo, man, no, we got to fight against masks. I'm like, fuck you. And I think we should actually, anybody who's ever posted a conspiracy theory about not wearing masks, once this is all over, and this is actually not how I feel because it's a very fascist point of view probably, or a very authoritarian point of view, but it was like,
oh, I know where you were going.
Yeah, but how about you actually get it's sort of like class action lawsuits, the opposite of that, where people get to like individual family members of people who were fucking killed because of, although I will say if you're the kind of person who will listen to that dribble and then not wear a mask, but let's say somebody who is compromised, and can't wear a mask and also gets fucked over by people who are, there have been people like going out there and like coughing in people's faces and shit to like be like, you don't need to wear a mask. If somebody like that, if somebody ends up dying from that, it shouldn't just be the person who coughs on the person. Let's actually link it all the way back to the fucking roots of the conspiracy theory and just say, just fuck all you people, man. At least make you at least feel fucking responsible for the death because you just want to like pay attention to non-science.
And then we open camps.
You are responsible for
put
people.
Him in camps and
exactly, yeah, non-mask camps, yeah. Honestly, and again, I would never actually say it because that's obviously horrible things. But at some point, it would be nice if these people could realize how responsible they are partly responsible for human beings dying because you're like, well, I'm just one person. Yeah, part of a large echo chamber saying dumb shit that get people to fucking not wear masks. And if you're only going to kill people who don't wear masks, that's fucking fine with me. If everybody's dying because you choose to die, but there are people who can't choose to die. And they die because the other people are choosing to not be safe and do caring things for their fellow brothers and sisters. Anyway,
based on that, I have an idea for a content piece for this.
Yes.
Think super spreader patient 0. He comes from Europe, and his name's Marmot Jones or O'Neill or something. Say Marmot O'Neill.
I like the Irish marmot. I like that.
He's an Irish marmot, but he's a man. Unless we do this animated, then he is a marmot.
Yeah.
But I think we could do this as a man, and we do it like we shoot it 70s style. It's done VHS style, like kind of grainy and a little like almost feels indie, like the Scarlett Johansson movie where she got naked in England and killed people.
You mean the skin, under the skin?
Under the skin, yeah. We shoot it like that. But also in the same
that was a cool movie. I gotta say, I like that. That was a cool, creepy movie.
But basically, the movie is a redo of Finnegan Begin Again from the 70s, except it's about a super spreader aimlessly wandering through his day.
Okay.
And he refuses to wear a mask, but he's not a dick about it. He doesn't blow up in stores.
He's not a Karen, you know. He's not a mask.
Kind of a quiet older man.
Apologies to actual Karens out there. I know I've rallied against people using the term Karen, but unfortunately it does mean, like you were pointing out, it means what it means, and it was a single word that can immediately evoke an imagery. So unfortunately, it's part of the lexicon.
No, basically, we have a man who's patient 0, and it's a super fast spreading virus. So you can literally see the effects of it almost in real time.
Sort of like sort of like coronavirus.
Yeah, and he in the
60,000 people.
In the movie, it's a day in his life. He's going to the grocery store. It's basically Finnegan Begin Again. But he befriends a little boy and kills him, and that weighs heavily on him, but he still doesn't change no matter what happens. He even maybe says he's a prostitute. You mean he gets mad because he gets gonorrhea from her, but she dies instantly from the disease he gives her? Like, it's just kind of playing on the whole idea of selfishness and this is okay, but this isn't.
Exactly,
but don't have him be a Karen at all. Just a hapless 60-year-old man.
And it's not the kind of person who's like even necessarily subscribing to conspiracy theories or spreading them online or anything. But somebody who's
have him say a liberal thing and a conservative thing in the movie, just to kind of keep him balanced. Be like, I really don't need those immigrants coming in the country as he's reading a newspaper at a kiosk stand thing. But then, like, a little ways down the street, he gives a homeless man money and says, you could go to the soup kitchen down the street. I work there on Sundays.
Making them extremely relatable as, like, just a general human being you can meet off to the side of the road. And just to be like, but I'm not actually... So I'm not actively trying to hurt anybody.
But he is.
And then even then, they might even, like, you know, maybe try to take a little bit of a... Like, when they're walking by people, maybe take a little bit of a path to the other side if they're, like... Because they might still be somewhat thoughtful, but they won't do this one selfless act, this tiny thing that could potentially, even if for some reason scientific evidence was so against masks actually helping and it was only a 1% chance you could save somebody's life by wearing it, I would still fucking wear it. I'm not wearing it because the government told me to. I'm wearing it, and first of all, there's overwhelming evidence that you should, because it's actually more than that. But even if you're the kind of person, I would like to know with these conspiracy theorists, do you think there's not even a 1% chance it's true? If there's even a 1% chance, that means a 1% chance you could potentially actually kill people walking by them.
People in the local news forums are still commenting on Facebook underneath the stories saying the flu is more dangerous.
Yes, which
is
funny because I remember when people were like that, like the flu kills like 80,000 people a year. Back when it was like 15,000 people, and now it's like we're double that, and also we haven't been a year yet. We're 6 months into it essentially. But people are like, but it's still like now the fucking numbers. I'm like, no, those are your numbers, scientific numbers, not my numbers, made up feely God's numbers.
Speaking of numbers, shoot this movie in SD, so it has it's a square
480 SD.
Yep, and
like
use the black bars on the side to show a map of England because it's vertical, and time. Deaths, infections.
Oh, the entire time.
And as he goes through, like say,
he can actually trace his entire time through. He
says hi to his neighbor, and he goes 1 infection.
Yeah,
and then he goes to like a deli. He goes 30, and then based on that, you start seeing the spread, and then the death numbers go up because the death has to happen within his one day.
Yes, it does. And also not.
And it should end with everyone in England dead except for him.
And then even
he's like, hello.
So in other words, like
hello.
Where we have the 2-week spread period, we're saying that's 24 hours in this new one.
Probably
right?
less.
So
at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah. So
12 hours.
So what would, and that's not even the spread of the virus.
And we want 100% of England dead by the end of this movie
because of one person.
And he just ends up looking out his window and he goes, it's a quiet night out there.
And then people being
and
like,
fade to black.
And people would be like, well, that's not realistic because it doesn't spread 24 hours.
I hope the
like,
mailman brings my insulin tomorrow. I'm out.
Yeah.
And then it ends because the mailman's dead.
The mailman's dead,
and he's honestly die in the morning.
And honestly, even if they weren't dead, if they were in the United States at least, it would the mailman would still not bring your insulin because they don't have money to actually deliver your mail anymore. Thank you very much. Anyway, we're not a political podcast, but
I like Finnegan. Plague again.
Okay. not even.
It might as well be Plaguey McPlaguey. Plaguey McPlaguey spreads the plaguey. To Peggy.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a
Plaguey McPlaguey spreads the plaguey to Peggy.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like one of those propaganda books that essentially might as well say pro-pandemic people at this point have talked about just like the chicken pox, if you actually get together with your friends, there have actually been books like children's books.
Jared, that's happened this year. There have been coronavirus infection parties.
Well, not only that, there were books essentially telling kids it's okay to be around your friends.
Way less than anything else.
It doesn't. Also, the spread. First of all, their herd immunity is much more likely with that. There's a reason they could have had chickenpox vaccines, I'm sure, that really would have prevented. Maybe they do, but it's honestly the vaccine is get your kid sick. Because honestly, I've known people who as a kid got chickenpox as bad as you can get, down their throat, hard to breathe, all this kind of stuff, and it sucks because really
you're your urethra.
Yes, honestly, probably.
Why are you masturbating so much? I'm itching the inside of my dick.
And they still live. Also, it doesn't affect old people and elderly people disproportionately. So in other words, yes, kids are going to do better generally. With the exception of very, very young ones who haven't had a chance to develop their immune systems, but that's one of the reasons for that. So yeah, maybe kids getting coronavirus right now will help their immune systems out ultimately, but they then can spread that to older people. Chickenpox, they're just spreading it to other kids. Granted, yes, occasionally adults can catch it that never caught it before, but that's very, 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 very rare.
Yes.
So anyway, let's not get into too much. I want to move on to at least one more story here, and we got something about rats.
I was curious. You marked the next story. It looked like, so I wasn't sure which one we were going to. Well, your cursor's on the next story.
Oh no, that's just because that's the next story I would actually ever have to cover. So yes, no, I'm still going to your story.
All right, my next story.
And actually, Man Bites Seagull is also not my story, so I don't even know why I have
my next story comes out of Paris, France.
The French martyrs.
Oui,
Sorry,
oui.
it's one of my favorite. Actually, I guess that was a combination. Canadian or French Canadian / actual French movie. So I don't know if people go ahead and call us right now. Tell me whether you consider Martyrs a French film or a Canadian film or a combination.
I consider it French.
I do too. It's a Pascal Lager. It was shot in Montreal, but it was written or at least directed by a France. Man.
I remember, speaking of French, I remember
one of my favorite horror movies
last
ever.
week, Kelly, my wife, panic texted you because I wouldn't stop making up French words. Do you remember getting that long text?
I remember something about accenté.
Yeah, she's like, he keeps saying accenté is a way to say accent in French, and then keeps trying to make focaccia bread and facetious a word together.
Yes, focaccious.
Focaccious.
So
I'm like, you got to put the right accenté on focaccious,
yes.
you won't come across right. And she's
I told
those
her,
aren't words.
I told her she did the right thing by contacting me because she will probably text me 3 times a year, and most of it is just being like, I don't know if I need to be worried about him, but either way, this needs to be on the record. So your behavior, whatever it was, hilarious behavior, by the way. I was like, it's hilarious, but it is on the record.
She's like, accenté is not a word. I'm like, yes, it is. It's the French word for adding an accent. Like if you were to say creme brulee, there's an accenté at the end of creme brulee. Yeah. And she goes, stop saying that. They rhyme. And I'm like, it's not my fault. That was my comeback. It's not my fault. All French words rhyme.
You can't help all of them. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
It's one of those memes, yeah. All French words rhyme. Prove me wrong.
Oh, I'll have the fish fillet. Oh, sorry about my accenté.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
All right. So, about...
Accenté is a word, by the way. I don't fucking care. If you can say it and someone else understands you, it's a word. That's how all words
actually
started.
That's
how all words started.
That's how communication works. Absolutely, and we've had that rant plenty of times. We're both on the same page on that.
Yeah, funner, all that shit. I hate funner when it's used wrong. But there is a moment where someone can say it, and you're like, "Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm not even."
Of course, yeah, because it's more fun than fun. Like it's funner than the thing you did before. And honestly,
exactly.
There was actually a story that I was not going to bring to the table because it's more serious.
That'd be like saying wetter isn't a word. Wait, is wetter a word?
It is. Yep.
Okay. I've got myself doubting myself because of all these words we're not supposed to say.
But there was a judge recently who first of all, it's funny because there's been 2 Aunt Jemima racial slurs come out recently. There's the Virginia mayor. Not the mayor
they can't
of Virginia,
have it they can't have it on their maple syrup, so now they got to use it in the
exactly.
vernacular.
So, and somebody used it against thing. Joe Biden picked Aunt Jemima as the running mate, and then not long, or maybe it was before that, a judge actually said something about somebody in their courtroom being Aunt Jemima and using Ebonics in their because they were using Ebonics, and Ebonics is just as accepted a version of English as any other thing, but just because it's not created by the rich white patriarchy that says that dictates what the right language is doesn't mean it's not an appropriate use of English. So anybody who thinks like, oh, you're not using right English, or you're not using, first of all, correct English, you're not using correct English. Like, I would love it if somebody, you're not using right English. And to be like, because you have a certain accent, or you like have a certain dialect, like just that like point of view is just being like, oh no, I have decided to subscribe to this very narrow-minded view of a racist, this white, rich patriarchal sense of language, of the English language, and what we're allowed to use and not. And the second entire society, entire culture uses it because they're using it in a way I don't want them to use it, it means it's wrong. Guess what? They get to fucking communicate, and it's up to you to like learn it or don't, and don't know what they're saying, but don't just assume uneducated because of that. That's a rant.
I really hope the person who used Ebonics in that courtroom's last name was Jemima, and she had a niece.
Yeah.
And everyone gets all heated about it, and then when it all comes down, it's like, no, she's literally Aunt Jemima.
The judge was actually being realized, like, Aunt Jemima, I do want to thank you for
the
bringing
up against her niece.
Yeah, you know? Aunt Jemima, I do want to bring up that I absolutely appreciate your use of Ebonics. Because they just bring up Aunt Jemima ... use of Ebonics, and then like they just forget that it's actually the judge being like, I appreciate your use of Ebonics. I say your use of Ebonics. Yeah.
At the end of the written news story, what you get at the very bottom was, and there was no comment from niece Jemima.
Niece Jemima. Anyway,
yes. So bodies donated.
You got about 5 minutes on this one.
That's our content, as far as I'm concerned, too. Maybe, who knows? Bodies donated to science left to be eaten by rats at Paris Center. The authorities in France will investigate claims that human corpses donated for science were left to rot and eaten by rats at the university research facility.
First of all, if they're investigating the claims, isn't that technically science? So it's forensic science, but maybe that technically means you left your body to science still.
Yeah. Did you let these bodies rot and get eaten by rats? Well, that was the case study.
Yeah, it was a case study. Yeah.
That's what we were doing.
That's fucking science. Don't tick that little box.
What case study were you doing? Well, how much a rat can eat off a dead body
during a pandemic. I don't know if this happened during the pandemic.
Do fatter people make fatter rats? Like a skinny corpse and a fat corpse, and you try to see if the rats disproportionately gain or lose weight, or
Oh yeah,
they're all going to gain weight by eating, but do they gain more weight by eating a fatty?
That is research. So guess what? You still did your job, folks. That don't.
First of all, you should see the morgue across the street. They've got a heroin overdose and a coke overdose, and they're trying to see what those rats are going to do.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. One of those rats getting a lot more work done.
One of those rats just ran into a wall and broke its neck. The other one's making a Nirvana song.
Rat, as you rat. Oh, okay. Nirvana song is literally just every noun replaced with rat. Okay, cool.
We've had 9 rats with double shotgun blast to the head.
Yeah, Ratvana is trending on Twitter now.
Ratvana. Yeah, they all committed suicide with multiple gunshot wounds.
Yeah. Or was it Courtney Rat?
Yes.
Courtney Rat conspiracy
theory. That's the rat that's alive that's still eating the corpse, but doing it like pinky out and slowly and delicately. Like, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
There's no way he could have got his tiny little rat paws on that tiny little rat shotgun. I think it was Courtney Rat. Okay, so that's our new content for this. Yeah.
Rat Vanna didn't have good trigger discipline on Dirty Suicide. All right. So, an investigation into the violations of the integrity of a corpse, and I love that as a quoted phrase, violations of the integrity of a corpse, was handed over to the magistrates by prosecutors who handled the initial phase of the investigation after Le Presse magazine reported the scandale last November. I just used that accenté there.
I mean, they didn't rhyme, but I just wanted
No, that was a bit of Quebecois for if someone was speaking English but using
November. But if you were to translate that into proper French, it would have rhymed.
That would have. Oh, it all would have.
Yeah.
Quebecois Americana, not so much.
Yeah.
The newspaper said the remains of thousands of people who donated them for research were discovered in abhorrent conditions at the Center for Body Donations.
I love the word abhorrent.
CDC. I said it wrong too.
No,
I thought I said aberrant.
No, you said abhorrent. You just said it the way. Yeah, no, I love that word.
Yeah.
Even if you did, it would have been fine.
Thousands of corpses. Yes. This wasn't like we said. One fatty and one thinny.
No, but you need a control population. You need at least 500 fatties and 500 thinnies, and also some rats that don't know which one they're eating, so they have to know they have a placebo corpse faction. Okay. You know, placebo corpses who you don't know if they're like the rats don't know if they're fat or thin. That way you know if the rat's lying when suddenly that rat is making a Nirvana song. Be like, nah, dude, you were actually eating off the Robin Williams the Coke corpse over there. So actually, you should have been running into the wall. That's fucking fake ass Rat Vanna right there. I can smell through your goddamn teen spirit any day.
I like that. This gets worse. When they went in there to find these rat-eaten thousands of corpses, bodies were
which is something to walk in on, by the way.
Yes. Bodies were strewn around naked, dismembered, piled on top of one another, with severed heads lying on the floor.
Okay, now, first of all, okay.
This just feels like one of those anger rooms where you get to blow off steam by throwing bottles against the wall. Someone just goes down there and just fucking hacks and throws corpses around because they're pissed at their boss.
Does it sound like somebody did that and then just blamed it on the rats?
Yes. One guy who pissed at his boss upstairs went down there and fucked up thousands.
Yeah.
2,000 corpses.
And they're just like, all these rats stole thousands of Steve's cum samples and fucked them into the corpses too, because these corpses have definitely been fucked. All their like clothes all over the place, and Steve comes down and be like, what? And he's like wearing like lipstick of one of the victims and the lips of one of the victims. Be like, I was framed by the rats. They're like, all right, well, you have friends in high places because also we're gonna blame it on the rats and we're French.
A place that's supposed to be doing medical research science on donated bodies, you'd think would have protocols, tables, gurneys, freezers, coolers, etc. It sounds like they had a warehouse with a laundry chute at the top.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
and they're just like chucking them in. Like, where did those go?
I picture like this.
That's above our pay grade. That's for the rats to decide.
All right, you gonna pump it down the old corpse chute? Yeah.
We got another one stuck. Get the corpse stick. And just like down the hole until you hear a whoop. And they all just go down.
The corpse stick is literally just a plunger.
With a long
just a real long plunger, and it has a skull on the top of it. From somebody else that you didn't save in time.
Yeah. It's like
anyway.
Okay, we have a sequel to Ratatouille now.
Ratatouille. Is there a Ratatouille too? I don't know.
But. No, there is.
Okay, there is now. Well, but this one is the third piece of
reason the health ministry finds out about the room with thousands of rat-eating corpses is one of them jumps on top of one and pulls his hairs and animates him. It's like we get at Bernie's because he's dead, but it's Ratatouille because that's how he made
pretending to be a human being.
Yeah, and he leaves and he has a press conference.
But it's
and everything.
literally just the pieces of hair because the rat can't lift anymore.
No, the skull's broken open. The rat's pressing in nerves on the brain to make him move. And during the press conference, someone knocks the hat off accidentally, and everyone's like,
yeah.
The rat runs away, and the body just collapses on the podium.
Mr. President, because you've been elected president of this movie by now, I cannot believe you have a rat in your brain. Really? Because all politicians are rats under the surface, and
it's an allegory.
And that's when people go, oh man, it was too political.
Ratatouille. the ratagory.
The ratagory.
Because it's an allegory and it's gory because there's corpses and there's a rat. We just mashed so many words together they've lost all meaning.
Yeah, and rats like Rat Spirit is the fucking song that gets played. Yeah. I think that's how Smells Like Teen Spirit goes.
As you are.
Okay, rat as you are. Yeah.
With the corpse, and you're walking down a street.
Yeah.
Rat you are. Rat that car. I don't know.
Yeah. Eat that cheese. Don't poop in the drawers. That's how they find you. All right.
Mom and Dad died in a store. Their corpses are on the floor. I'm gonna, you know that song.
Yeah,
I'm gonna animate one, like make a happy
Grandma take me
song.
Grandma take me Was that the cover of the
Rat'll take me home. Rat'll take me home. Yeah, that was off the.
That was Incesticide, but
yeah. It was second or third track on Incesticide.
But I'm curious if that was because there was a few songs on that one, or at least two that were Vaseline's covers. I can't remember if that was one of them.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we are pretty much at the end of web droppings. We do want to play a little game before we go into the end of the show. So
without further ado,
let's play this little game that you
Let's
brought
play
to the
this
table.
super specific game
That I am excited to play. Scott,
and I am excited to play too.
Take it away.
All right, let's do it.
What is that? What is that? What is it? Oh, no, not the pig! Not the pig! Ah! Out of my eyes!
All right, Scott, you're going to have to explain the rules and everything about this game because we literally were like, we need to have a game for the end of the show, and you made a game.
I did,
and I have no idea what it's about or how we're doing anything. I think
about food.
I remember you mentioned something about that hot dog. I think we were mentioning you had the hot dog story that you were going to try to turn into the game, right?
Yeah,
that's the
and I
last we
managed
left
to do
We're
it.
recording this like a day after the initial thing here, so yes, but it's seamless. Nobody can tell.
No,
so
not
should not have actually mentioned
should not have said that.
No, except for I'm pretty sure right before we, like a couple days ago / 30 seconds ago, I probably said, you got that hot dog game, we'll save for a game. And then it's sort of like, what's this game about? I've never heard anything about it.
That covers all the bases.
Cool. All right, cool. All right, how does this work?
Well, we're going off of the hot dog story you mentioned, where scientists basically calculated how many hot dogs a human belly can theoretically hold since
200.
Since the number of hot dogs people have been able to consume in hot dog eating contests has constantly gone up. And we all know the stomach is only so elastic, so that number can only go so
240.
I was going to say, the first question of the game, and this is 10 questions with a bonus in case we need it. Every question will have a different kind of answering way, more or less, but I'll walk you through, and it'll be kind of quick if we push through. First question, how many hot dogs do you think is the theoretical peak the human belly can hold?
71.
Ooh, close. I think that's actually close to what they can actually eat now.
Okay.
Theoretically,
that's like Kobayashi could probably eat like 70.
I think he's in the low 70s right now.
Okay, that's probably. I actually would like to know that at some point, but
I think it's in the story, but I don't want to open it to break up the flow of the game.
Okay, cool.
And anyone who wants to look it up can.
Yep. That's right.
So the actual total is a hypothetical 83.
Oh, that's not bad then. Okay.
Until someone hits that number, we won't know.
Yeah. And then if they hit that, also like different people's stomachs differ differently.
That is true. Everyone's different.
That's a great way to say it. I use differ and differently.
We're all snowflakes. Different shapes and sizes.
Every different person differs differently. You remember that's, I believe, that's a famous saying.
All right, question number 2. It may surprise a lot of our listeners to hear that the entirety of the world human population has a diet that consists of mainly 12 different types of plants and 5 different types of animals. Let's see how many you can name. Just go ahead. Just say some plants. Actually, start with animals. Because
are you talking about very specific plants?
How about this?
5, like not. 5, in other words, not like like nightshade. You're talking to a very specific plant.
Like the overall. Like
I would say corn.
Tons of species of apples.
Yeah.
Just say apples.
Yeah, I would get corn. I mean? Corn is in there.
Corn is on there. Let's say since there's 12, you need 7 plants.
Say wheat, some kind of grain there, right? For making bread.
Corn and wheat. Yep.
Okay, and pig, cow. I mean, beef.
We're switching the other one.
I mean, I'm going back and forth with
pig, cow. Yep, got 2 out of that. You only need 1 more.
Chicken.
That's 3 out of 5 for that.
Okay,
you want to try for the other 2?
I mean, turkey's got to be up there.
Nope.
Okay, let's see that. I mean, I gotta be chipmunk.
Nope.
No, it's not chipmunk. No, let's think. Hold on, let me go back to veggies. I know there's some more veggies.
Okay,
here.
you nailed animals. You're done with that.
Yeah, tomatoes.
So far you have corn, wheat, tomato. Yep.
There's a lot of stuff that's like in products that I'm thinking.
Just think of the thing in the produce aisle you see the most of. That's the easiest way to do this.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's lettuce, but I don't know if you want like a romaine or anything specific.
Nope, lettuce is not the most
Oh
popular out
wow,
of
that
12
is
things.
terrible. Okay, it doesn't make the top 12.
Nope.
Lettuce, the thing that you just
No.
make all okay. I mean, corn. The reason I was saying like some of those other ones is used in so many other products, so maybe the fact that lettuce is only used as lettuce and you don't use it in other things. I mean, there was not. No, it wouldn't be cucumbers. I mean, unless
Nope.
pickles are in there, but
Nope.
like peppers.
Nope.
I've named every vegetable I know.
Do you want me to just read the list now?
Hold on, let me think of just one more thing.
Here, I'll finish off.
Let me
you
get
can
one
think
more.
while I finish off the meat list.
Okay, yeah.
Sheep and goat were the two you didn't
Oh
get.
yeah, because I'm thinking so American. I'm not thinking about how popular goat is,
Exactly.
like Indian and these.
There's
other
one
cultures.
item on
And
the
that's
top
a
12.
billion. That's a billion people in India. eating
There's
goats.
one item on the top 12 that I've never heard of, and I bet you've never even heard of, but it's top 12 because there's a lot of other people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you got to think about like other
All
cultures.
all other 11, I've definitely
I mean,
eaten, had,
is
used
I mean,
daily.
rice is a grain. Is like
Rice.
Okay,
4.
cool. That's good. Let me just go with.
You gonna
4.
call it good?
Yeah, call it good because honestly, we're
Sugar
gonna.
cane, because sugar.
Oh, sugar! Fuck yes, of course.
Corn, rice, wheat. You got those.
Yep.
Potatoes.
French fries. You kidding?
Soybeans.
So fuck soybeans. That's dude. Of course, soy.
You got tomatoes.
Yeah.
Bananas. Onions.
Okay.
Apples.
Onions. I see. That thing is, I would assume like.
Everyone eats onions.
I mean, they do, but like at the same
Scallions,
time,
chives, onions,
and they go
red
in
onions,
things. But like the reason,
onions,
the reason I like
shallots.
the other ones don't surprise me that much is because they're used in other things. Onions are pretty much just used as onions. I mean,
They're using almost every food on earth.
I guess you're right. When I get salsa or whatever, onions in there. Onion powder, like, is,
all Asian food has
extracts.
onions.
That's true, yeah. Sauteed or sometimes just for flavor and taken out.
And
after
they
the
grow
fact.
everywhere. They literally grow in the dirt.
Yep, that makes sense. Potatoes make sense too.
And the last one is grapes, mainly because of we eat grapes and then wine.
Yep, I can see that.
All
Okay,
right,
that's
so
cool.
that's the longest question. We're gonna move on to faster
if we weren't in like a hurry, I would have gone out of my way to try to answer more of them, and then edit it later. But I want to get this edited up tonight. So.
The one you didn't know and I didn't know is cassava, which is a starchy tuberous root, and it is one of the top 12 most eaten things in the world, above lettuce.
It's got to be like an Asian country, like
Probably
China,
Indian,
Eurasia,
probably.
Yeah, because like that's what we got to realize. Like the second you're talking about, like if China and India share a diet with something, like suddenly that's 50% of almost 50% of the world's population.
And goat and sheep
literally
probably
go,
in the Middle East contributes high to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
India
does
and all that.
Europe.
Yep. So
And then
like
also
very
in America,
very populous areas. Yeah,
and
and there's
India,
still some in there.
India,
Yeah.
Pakistan.
India, the one I was thinking the biggest because that's got 1 billion people or whatever. So.
Yep. Okay. Number 3.
All right.
What is the most stolen food in the world? What is the highest rate of theft out of all foods?
Hot Pockets.
Cheese. More cheese is stolen than any other food per year.
Interesting.
Number 4. What is a surprise pie?
Do you want the?
I thought this was just funny because of its name.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
You know what I would like to say is
And I'll give you one hint. No one eats it anymore.
yeah, it's like mincemeat.
You're close. It is a 16th century English
It's like liver
food.
pie, probably. It's like
They-
it's like
they-
a meat. It's got to be a meat pie.
They take a pie crust, they put a live animal in it, they put the top pie crust on, they put it on the table, and an animal jumps out, and that's surprise pie, and they guess what animal's going to jump out of it.
Nowadays
They don't eat it.
Nowadays we've
It's
got
more of a game pie.
Yeah, we've got like strippers
It's
jumping
like
out of cakes.
It's
yeah.
like Monopoly.
It's wearing like
But
it's wearing a thong and like it's got
yes,
it's got
the
its tits hanging out.
to the
stripper cake. Yeah.
cake.
Okay, I like that.
Maybe now we could have birthday stripper pies.
Cool. Actually, just a very large pie or a tiny stripper.
Most people don't know this, but chicken McNuggets are kind of formed into 4 specific shapes. And if you were to dump out your chicken McNuggets, you will notice. And I've noticed.
I've definitely
but
noticed.
they come in different shapes.
They are not. It's not an organic thing. Like they come in shapes. Yeah.
All 4 shapes are named, and they all start with the letter B. Name one of them. I'll give you one hint. They're all 4 letters long, and they start with the letter B.
Ball.
Yes, you named
okay.
one. Do you feel like you're on a roll and you just want to try for the next 3?
Bart.
Ball is the round one.
Bart.
No, that's the one shaped like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, though I know they've got the round ones, but they've got some that actually are like shaped almost like they're. But I don't need to. We're in a hurry. I got one.
Boot, bell,
boot. That's because I was trying to think of the one that's almost like an L, and I was like, L doesn't start with B.
Bone and ball.
Okay, all of those actually are.
They're all four letters and start with B.
They're very intuitive, actually. I mean, when you open, I've noticed they're all. I'm like, obviously these are formed into. I assume like cookie cutter style.
Kind of, yeah. Number 6.
I like my chicken. Formed.
Which condiment was once thought to be a cure for diarrhea and was actually put into pill form to give to people in the 1800s? What condiment?
Mustard.
Cure for diarrhea.
Mustard.
Ketchup.
I just figured like mustard is like mustard seeded stuff can be used for like that actually has
people weren't
properties to
smart
it.
in the 1800s.
Yeah, because mustard seeds actually are like good for like they have real good property. Like it's a seed. You can actually do stuff. Ketchup is just a bastardized. I'm not a tomato person, but
no, me neither.
we were already like
salsa and barbecue sauce.
Actually, no. Actually, I'm a tomato.
Salsa,
I'm a
barbecue
tomato
sauce.
product person every day. And honestly, I wish I loved tomatoes because when I see people eating a fresh tomato and it's popping and they're loving it with some mozzarella,
I don't get
it.
it.
I'm just like, I wish I liked that because it looks delicious and refreshing and a nice caprese.
You're talking about my birthday party.
Yeah,
that was just a couple days ago. All right,
right.
We had capreses.
Yeah, that's right.
Number 6. Going back to fast food. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 7.
I almost got a caprese. I guess
you and Dan were the.
Yeah, because we were like, oh, we'll just let people, graze a little bit.
I thought I had plenty, and then I was
catch up
like,
for a bit.
it's all gone.
But I got part of a caprese.
I'm sorry. I'll bring you one someday.
Well, honestly, like the mozzarella is the part that I like the most, and there's plenty of that. Or there's a couple of slices of that left. I had enough mozzarella on there.
All right.
And prosciutto.
Prosciutto is so good.
Prosciutto.
You're putting too much accent on that.
Yeah, you know what?
All right.
So meta.
Back to the game.
Yeah.
Number 7. Back to fast food. How many pubic hairs are consumed by the average fast food eater in the past year?
Average per, right? So each person
consumes X number of pubic hairs by eating fast food per year. A study has
1,600. It's a lot. It's enough to form a hairball.
12.
Dude, that actually my
12.
first guess was actually 12.
Okay, sure it was.
If you could look in here, I just assume it's going to be a disgusting amount. Like you could get a hairball by the end of the year, the size of a fucking.
I thought it would
a
be
nugget
grosser
ball
too, but
yeah.
12 is gross enough because that's one per month.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I've only
try to
eaten
make
fast
sure
food
I get
twice this past year. I think. So
oh yeah,
I
you're
got
getting 6 each.
per.
Yeah. Somebody's going out of the way. We're like, oh Scott, he's only going to
them on.
He might not come back, man. Go, just pull a pluck. Oh man, pull a whole fucking handful.
Number 8. Why is phosphoric acid an ingredient in Coca-Cola?
I would say it's a binder.
It is to keep you from vomiting.
Cool. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola,
because there's like so much sugar and like in the syrup.
Coca-Cola has more sugar than you should consume in a day per can, and without phosphoric acid,
I'm guessing
your
that means
body would reject it and you would throw up, and people did, so they had to add it. And this was an additive added after cocaine was removed, because cocaine also kept you from vomiting it up.
Up to a certain point. There's a certain point where enough cocaine will get you vomiting.
But no,
you know what? They just didn't have that limit.
Yeah, the cocaine would keep you from vomiting the sugar, and when they removed it and had people try it, they puked after drinking one can.
And they're like, oh shit, man, you sure people just weren't having withdrawals from coke? Because I bet if they took it out now, people would be fine. Because it's like, that means they probably have that in every other soda, like most sodas. Because the orange soda has more sugar than Coke, and so does Mountain Dew.
Yep. No,
and
probably more phosphoric acid.
Grape soda, yeah. It's now like for
they got to balance it.
Yeah. It was at the end of the day, it's just a little bit of bubbles, and then the rest is you're just drinking acid soda.
We just add less sugar. There's so much acid in this Mountain Dew, it's starting to eat through the plastic bottle.
Yeah, nope, going back to glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, I think the plastic probably is something that doesn't dissolve by that, like certain acids, right? I mean, certain plastics don't, right?
All plastics break down. That's why water bottles have expiration dates. The water doesn't go bad.
Yeah.
The plastic does.
The plastic does, and that's actually like a lot of times you actually get the flavor. Start getting the flavor. No, but you know, like how if you say want to dispose of a dead body, you use certain acids, and you have to actually use them in a plastic container.
Yes, where the plastic won't be
because of whereas it will eat through like ceramic or metals, but it won't eat through certain plastics. It's chemistry, baby.
Yeah. All right, number 9. You've had American cheese, right? The little slices, Kraft singles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What percentage of a Kraft single is actually cheese?
11%.
Oh. Well, everything has to be over 50% to be called the thing it is.
Okay.
Cheese,
Okay.
for instance.
So 51%, 50.01%.
I'd like that answer, but 51.
Okay.
To call it cheese, it has to have over 50%.
Well, I didn't know it was called cheese. I thought it was a cheese product, but
They call it cheese because that's 51% cheese.
Okay,
49% filler.
So that's when you see something called cheese product. That means it
That's
probably is
lower
less
than
50.
50.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like wings.
Because in other words,
with
it has
a Z.
cheese in it. Like I can call something a tomato product if it has a little bit of tomato in it. Yeah.
Like wings with a Z. You gotta wonder.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can't even
yeah.
call it chicken. Usually it's CHKN.
Yep.
And then
with a question mark.
And then what is it? WYNZ.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has a shrug emoji after. Yeah.
You gotta wonder what that is when they can't even
Yeah.
put the word chicken before it, and they're not even allowed to say wings.
It's called chicken roulette. Like, you may or may not survive this, but there's a lot of phosphoric acid in every chicken nugget. Don't worry, you won't puke it up at least.
Number 10, and there is one bonus, and
Yep.
we are going over.
No,
so
that's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're not. Well, we got only a couple minutes left. So.
Number 10, kale is a super trendy food right now.
Of course, yeah.
Before 2010, which fast food-esque, we'll say restaurant chain.
Right,
We'll
like a
include-
franchise, right?
We'll
Whatever.
include any franchise. Which franchise was the highest buyer of kale in the entire United States?
You mean prior to what? What do you
Prior
mean?
to 2010, before...
Okay.
Because kale became trendy 2010.
Exactly, yeah.
So before kale became a trendy food to eat, which chain restaurant sold the most kale? Or bought the most kale?
I didn't even know anybody did before then because it was such a trendy little thing.
One restaurant
How about
chain.
Panera?
Nope. Pizza Hut.
They never. There's nothing.
Think
Kale
about
isn't
when
on
you were a
anything.
kid and you walked past that salad bar. What
salad bar. I
No.
forgot the salad bar.
It wasn't in the salad bar to eat.
It wasn't.
What did they line every plastic tray with to then put the salad into?
Really? Was it kale? It was back when kale was cheap.
They had big plastic trays in their Pizza Hut
Yeah,
salad
yeah,
bar.
I remember
and
that,
They would
yeah.
they would buy cases of kale and they would line all of the interiors of the plastic so you couldn't see the plastic.
Of course, yeah, I remember
but
that.
But you didn't eat the kale. You ate the
because-
the iceberg. on
Yeah,
top of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, because like kale. Oh, this thing looks like this all weird, tough fucking.
Like if your
grass, or not
tongs
grass, but
accidentally picked up the kale leaf, you'd like
throw
throw
it
it back
you'd burn
in.
it. You'd burn it.
Stop it like a rat running through the
and then it
restaurant.
turns out people are like, oh, it turns out sautéed kale is actually pretty good. I'm not a big fan of raw kale, but I like the steamed kale that like shrinks down to almost nothing.
Baby kale I can eat.
Yeah, I mean, I can eat it. Like I'll eat when I buy those
big
mixes.
kale, I can't. It's
When I
too
buy
bitter.
the mixes, big kale. That stuff when it's steamed
Big
down,
kale's
it gets.
bitter.
I kind of like that when it gets steamed down. I could use it in like a stir fry or something like that. But yeah, baby kale and like the mix salads and whatnot. Totally, absolutely.
No, my last question's a bonus question. This is specifically for you and me because we're both chicken wing fans. We fucking love them.
I mean, absolutely the most, like, as far as I've done vegetarian diets and whatnot, and the thing that always stops me, I'll go months sometimes without like eating meat. It hasn't been for a while, but without eating meat, or at least not eating very much meat. And then the thing that breaks me every time was going in to a fucking restaurant and somebody walks by with a plate of buffalo wings, that tangy fucking sauce,
Hits your
and
nose,
I
you
immediately
gotta
have
eat 'em.
I get drool in the back.
Oh.
Yeah, immediately.
One bead of sweat.
And
A light
I just have to
erection.
do it. Yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, give me some wings.
Not fully turgent, just
I need some wings to fuck to go, please.
Just a light chubby.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
so-
take one to fuck here, and then.
So this
a dozen
question
to
is
take
about
home.
chicken wings.
Okay.
When did we start eating chicken wings as a fun time food? When did it become a food? When did we just sit down and be like, fucking hey, I want a plate of hot
I
wings?
bet it's pretty late. I bet it's like 1959.
You are so fucking close. 1964 is
Okay.
when we as a nation.
I bet I was like,
and
I was
probably
like, I
the
can't
world.
imagine that event. That was definitely like diner like style, like all those 40s and 50s when diners became big and restaurants became big, and suddenly people were like, let's take these little appetizer-sized chicken wings and toss them. Otherwise, before you were like eating turkey legs in the medieval
People
days
think
and
that
shit.
buffalo wings were invented in Buffalo, New York, and sure, maybe the name and just drenching
Also,
the hot sauce
the hot
was-
sauce is the thing that makes a buffalo wing.
Yeah,
a
buffalo sauce
wing.
and
Yeah.
buffalo wings.
Otherwise, it's a wing.
Yeah. So before that,
And they're not even all wings. They're-
Before
yeah.
that, New York Anchor Bar. I don't know where the Anchor Bar is in New York, but the owner of that bar, Teresa Bellissimo,
Yeah, it sounds like a good like Italian style.
she
New
threw
York
away
name.
her chicken wings. Or
Bellissimo.
she threw away her chicken wings with the gristle and the bones, and once in a while would save someone a pot to make stock.
Yep.
And that was it. But as the story goes, in 1964, she was looking to whip up a midnight snack for her college-age son. She had recently received an accidental...
Of course, it was a college kid that like helped get this started. Of course.
She had recently received an accidental wholesale order of chicken wings, which she didn't plan on using. She was going to make stock out of them, but instead, she deep-fried them, slathered them with butter, and then hot sauce, and then...
Yeah, and a good hot sauce has butter in it, like a good... Yeah. That nice, thick, creamy... Yeah. Which is why hot sauce is so not good for you, but it's so good.
I mean, I could take a straight hot sauce with Cajun seasoning.
Yeah.
That's
well, yeah, and actually, and I should say, actually, that when I say hot, what I mean is like that buttery buffalo sauce. When you get like the hot sauces I get from Heatonist.com, they're not a sponsor or anything, and they have a lot of money because they're the Hot Ones people. My new one is supposed to be showing up in the next couple of days. I'm really excited about that, and it's got that 2.2 million Scoville unit sauce called the Constrictor in it, which is probably going to make me choke to death and die, which is totally fine. But those are healthy hot sauces where it's just hot sauce.
Yeah.
But I'm talking those creamy, buttery buffalo sauces you get. Oh my god, those are so good. I mean, I actually like other hot sauces better, but as far as what I dip wings in or toss wings in, I like a good tossed wing, not a dipped wing. So
yep, me too. Actually, I talked to you earlier about the new Indian place in the town that we work in.
Yeah.
And their tandoori chicken is done chicken wing and chicken thigh style.
Yeah.
So when you get it, it's basically getting tandoori chicken wings.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Because you
get like a leg, a wing, a thigh. You get a mixture of them.
Yeah.
And they're all bone in, but they're straight up tandoori. They're just not hot. You got to spice them yourself or ask them to make them spicier.
Yeah, which is totally fine. I mean, I actually like that because I think it's. I understand when places do that as long as like they get to know you. Like when Willawon's first opened in Montpelier, it's like one of the best Thai places, flat out. Like you look online and people from big cities who have come here, it's like. Who would have known one of the best Thai places in the United States is open 3 hours
in Vermont,
Monday through Friday, 8 months a year.
Yeah, in central Vermont.
In central Vermont, yeah,
one of the best Thai places in the world.
But it's because it's like really authentic Thai. Like they generally. The thing I like about them is they generally don't. I want to say like heat dumb it down. All the other Thai places that have been around, like they're like, oh, American hot. Of course you want this, and they're like, no, this is the way the dish is made. And it's gonna be spicy, and we can obviously make some dishes and try to make it not spicy. But a lot of times,
restaurants are kind of awesome. Like this is the way it's made.
Yeah,
we're open for 3 hours. Maybe when we run out of food, we just lock the door.
We literally just like, what do we gotta do? We made enough for this, and you don't get any more. And guess what? We're gonna take 3 months off, and we're not gonna tell you when it is until 2 weeks before.
Yep.
And you know what? Y'all motherfuckers gonna be lined up around the goddamn block when we open. So if you don't like it, don't get out.
It's like shortages on video game consoles just before Christmas.
So yeah.
How did they not make enough? It's like, oh, they made enough. They're driving hype.
You think I have I've had people like be like, oh, that's bullshit and whatever. I'm like, you know what? No, it just shows they're doing this for the love of doing it, which means they're making it like if they're not focus grouping something and be like, let's try all these different things. They're like, and they serve 3 dishes at a time for an entire week, and the next week 3 different dishes, and they rotate through 6 of those, probably 6.
Not
7?
Even probably 3.
Yeah. No, I think at least 5. I can name 5 different lineups they've got at least, but probably not more than that actually. Yeah, 4 or 5 lineups. It's just amazing food anyway. But yeah, I like the fact that they can do that. But I also like the fact they don't dumb it down. So you have to go the other way. You have to know it's going to be hot. And they'll put, like this one can't be made not hot because it's part of the chili lime dressing. Like
pretty much
almost
stuff. It's almost everything on their menu. They're like, we can't.
There's some of the stir fry stuff where they like put extra chilies in. They just won't do that. But the rest of the stuff, like, listen, it's like the dressing is what makes it, and that dressing is the dressing. We can't unspicify the dressing.
Yeah,
I like that. I love it. I also understand when places want to cater to a larger crowd and sell, be open 9 to 5 or not at 9 to 5, 9 to 9, and sell a bunch of food. And you know what? Yeah. I'd prefer these little holes in the wall, whatever they call them. Anyway, that's it, huh?
Yep, that's the show. You have a last edition.
Well, yeah, and this isn't a story which is we haven't gone out on a song for a while. This one is from what I understand in the article, might as well say public domain. RZA, RZA for some, from Wu-Tang Clan. He has recently made a new ice cream song. People know the ice cream song, plays on ice cream trucks around the neighborhood.
Yeah, you hear it in horror movies a lot.
Actually, I think that's the last time I guess we heard it around.
Oh, you heard it around my house.
Your house,
we have this ice cream truck that goes through our entire neighborhood in our little fucking corner.
So, RZA, it turns out that the origins of the ice cream song is it was written for or commonly used in minstrel shows back in the day. In other words, it has racist origins, and like a lot of other things that have racist origins, where like, justifiably looking to find alternatives or, correct things so we don't normalize some of that stuff in history. And this is one of the things where RZA was like, listen, him and Good Humor worked together and to create a new version of the ice cream song. And this isn't like just a joke like, oh, I'm going to create like some blazing hip hop version or something. This is it has a lot of that feel. And honestly, it still has that ethereal, creepy feel that the original one has. So it can still be used in horror movies and stuff. And it's awesome. So I just wanted to say we could go out on it because apparently he's saying this is free in perpetuity for ice cream drivers, which means essentially you can't really limit a license to a single type of person. So pretty much what he's saying is if it's free for them to use, it's not going to, we're not going to get flagged on YouTube for breaking copyright laws. So it seems public domain enough. It's pretty much just a quick loop. I'll play about a minute, 2 minutes of it. So enjoy the new ice cream song.
It ends in 1 hour.
We've done it before. So enjoy the new ice cream song. Hopefully it makes your drool a little bit and you go out and, purchase some delicious ice cream for yourself. And whether you do or not, I just want y'all motherfuckers to get lost.
Get lost.